You blink and find yourself standing in the knee-high grass of an endless field, with the day just falling into dusk. Then, the earth falls away. The wind ceases, and you are sent tumbling up into the dark of the sky.
Watcher.
The voice of the Pallid Knight shakes the earth at your feet. You have returned to Bareth's realm, your soul once more called to attend the wishes of the god of death.
Your preference has been noted.
The Pallid Knight crosses her arms. You can't be certain, but you think you might see the barest hint of a smile tugging at the edges of the Pallid Knight's lips.
Once again, you have spoken with the Child of Light. Tell me what you have learned. Intriguing.
The Pallid Knight stares past you, pensive.
While attend. Tell me what your many eyes perceive.
Her words ring out, and a heavy silence descends. In the silence breaks the murmur of countless voices. They speak all at once in languages both known and unknown to you. In the space beside Bareth, an eye blinks open, followed fast by several more. They are round, keen eyes of Kith, the slit eyes of snakes, the small, dark marbles of birds, the bulbous lanterns of deep-sea fish.
Here we are.
A figure walks through the cloud of eyes as one might step through a door. It is an Orlan, then a pale elf, an ocean human, a Naga. Each of them eyeless. They are well.
This is the first interesting thing to happen in ages. And we do so love a riddle.
The figure wears an Amawa's grin, and the many voices beneath its own titter.
We see between the strings of the world, and Eothas is there, strumming them like a lute. His tongue is still, yet he sings of a coming joy. What tune he plays, we do not know. It is complex, ever-shifting. One moment vibrating in harmony, the next in discord.
A man strides through the door to Bareth's realm. Behind him lope wolves with lolling tongues, and jungle cats whose long tails twitch with every step. Galawain, the changeling, arrives, and he brings with him the wild heart of Aora's untamed places. Fast on Galawain's heels, a small wave of seawater washes across the tiles. It pours off the edge of the platform and cascades down into the beyond. From out of the water rears a glowing lure, then the head of a gigantic fish. The round black eyes of Andra roll to meet yours.
Eothas is nothing if not resourceful. I admire his nerve.
In the changeling's voice, you hear the soft patter of rain on leaves and the rush of wind through treetops.
If his journey leads him back to us, he has proved himself worthy of return to the fold.
Eothas does not return to us. He returns to execute some grand plan. We must stop him.
Andra's voice rises like a tide, panic riding its crest. The doors lining the walls of Bareth's realm slam open in unison. Warped pieces of ancient armor and the remnants of discarded weapons roar through the doorways. They meet in the center of the room, in a shower of sparks, and form the vague figure of a man. Finally, a blacksmith's sledge hurtles past your shoulder, and the figure snatches it from the air. A man made half of metal and half of ruined skin stands before you. The rounded metal of a well-worn shield makes up most of his skull, his right eye socket, and jaw. His mouth is pulled forever into a half-grimace.
If Eothas has something foolish planned, perhaps we can turn him from that path and set him down a more productive one.
Abaddon's words crash and screech together, like long, still gears forced to movement for the first time in centuries.
Abaddon speaks with a child's naivety. He violates not their realms, but mine. I feel his urgency in every stamp of his feet along my spine. I will send tsunamis to slow him if Mogren would stir the earth beneath Mogren's teeth.
The water at your feet recedes. Lava oozes up through the shallow water and a woman made from the guts of the earth emerges. She settles her characteristic broadsword on her shoulder and sighs a cloud of smoke and ash. Mogren returns.
In the age when our steps carved valleys across the face of Aora, our bodies were impervious to all but the strongest attacks. I doubt fire and water will be enough to stop him. But I will bear down upon Aethys with all the heat and fury of the earth. If I must.
The death of thousands now could prevent the death of millions later.
The deep, bellowing cry of an aurochs shakes the ground beneath your feet. The cry drones on and on, a moan without end. Wal's many eyes squeeze shut. Andra slips back beneath her waves. Mogren dissipates in a swirling cloud of steam. Galawain's beasts cower and whine. Only the pallid night stands impassive.
My end comes to all things in time. Should Aethys care to hasten the inevitable, I welcome his efforts. Aethys seeks a slate wiped clean, freedom from the endless revolutions of Barath's wheel, the final emancipation of the countless stolen mortal lives the gods hoard within themselves.
The Child of Light will not choose the hour of my death.
Mogren tests the edge of her broadsword with a smoldering finger.
He sows chaos in his longing for a radiant dawn. So much will be lost in the cacophony of fear his actions inspire.
The crack of thunder rends the air. The gods fall silent.
We can wait no longer to act. Speak with him, Watcher. Discover what it is he plans. To live is a choice, and you yet draw breath. Drink deep of the air, Watcher. We have work yet to do.
The warmth of the pallid night's breath blows soft on the back of your neck, though she stands nowhere near you. Water begins to creep across the floor. It swells, runs swiftly, and catches at your ankles. You scrabble at the tiles, but it's no use. The current's pull drags you off the edge of Barath's realm and into the fathomless beyond. You splash down in water so dark you can't see the bottom. Then, the water recedes, gone like a dream upon waking. The hard wood of your cabin's floor presses against your spine. The gods are gone, but you remain.
You're far from home, farmer. How did you make it all this way in your little boat?
Why do we gotta be farmers just because we're from Deerwood?
Are you a farmer?
Yeah, but you can't just assume. We got rabble-rousers, too.
I'm the harbor master, Kauha. I must ask your reason for docking in Neketaka. Is that so? Well, Andra told me to protect the harbor, and Worika herself signed the order. They would have had Gallowayne do it, but he was sick this morning.
Show them what you are. Yes, that's it.
What's the matter with you? What are you doing? If you're trying to scare us with some cipher mischief, save the purple flames for the tribes of the Outer Islands.
Now.
What is this?
Run for it!
So much for discretion.
Leave it to me. Already.
And now Port Marche is behind us. I thought this would be a relief.
Where is my postinago of a brother? You there, have you seen Laro Badato?
Have you heard about the commotion at the palace?
Of course. Something about luminous art.
Finally washed into port.
Hold up, Cap. That be Malnage, the High Queen Sea Devil of the Deadfire herself, awaiting us like a shark in heat. Malnage, former ship hunter of the Sorcerer, taught me the trade, theoretically.
Captain, I've heard a mess and a half about you. Mostly good. Though I see your taste in company could use some refining.
Typical Malnage. Can't match my skill, so you try to spew shit.
Boy, when you're as old as me, your skill will still be naught more than the untrained fumbling of an Adeiran maid to the refined workings of my mind. I've heard about your run-ins with Captains Benweth and Ferrante. Meeting the old Principe seems like. Almost makes a girl green, the envy of missing the party. I'm tracking a man by the name of Rimaro, traitor to the cause.
Rimaro ain't no traitor, you mind-blind sack of squid squirts.
Captain, There'll be a bounty of some 4,000 pounds on Romaro, quick or dead. I'd be willing to cut you 1/10 of that, here and now, if you give me any knowledge you might have stumbled across on your travels. Careful, Watcher. You don't want to go making yourself an enemy of the Principe Sen Petrella. Anyone aids our enemies shares their fate, you know? Fare thee well, Captain. See you around, Seraphin.
All right. Which one of us am I thinking of now?
You be thinking of the Watcher.
That's 10 in a row.
Thank
That's
you
some
again
talent
for
you
maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative. I suppose not. But I considered them friends. Surely that counts for something. After we parted, I set out to destroy the Leaden Key. It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it, so for 5 years I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret, trying to undo them. The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make, or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations. Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia, a run-down backwater of a place. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition.
You got an eye for charming little towns, I'll say that much.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt. Yes, but the specifics depended on whom you asked. Some thought it would ward off Scan, or bring Berth's favor on the village, or Gon's blessing to their crops. The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos. He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be freed from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident. I thought so, at first. The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith. So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little. Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week. I had to do something, didn't I? I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better. Perhaps so. Thank you. It's a relief to share this burden. You've given me a lot to think about. Ah, that. I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I found several references, but I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
Aye, the talent of noticing who you be glancing at before you ask me who you be thinking of.
You have no right to interfere in Rauatai's business.
Did the Queen summon everyone to the palace?
Akira, I've never seen Haruhi run so fast.
Do you think the odds...
Seraphim, thought we agreed you'd stay out of my head.
I weren't in your head, lad. You think like an ogre snores. Would be a fool and a half not to make sure them thoughts ain't full up of trouble.
What do you think you're gonna find?
Nothing particular,
Hold
just,
a moment. You may visit the palace and its shrine, but be warned. The Queen meets with trading company vipers. Take care you are not bitten. You will find her in her throne room through the door behind me. Inform the guards of your purpose. Whether the Queen will hear you above the baying of her guests is another matter.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
I say our guest forgets himself.
Brother, stand down. You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us. An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen. Akira, I will take uncertainty over many alternatives. Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
She has a keen eye, my sister. Keener than your shooter's bird, Hazanui.
Don't listen to Amishi.
Among her other qualities, the Kahanga Queen can speak for herself. From Port Mage to Hasongo to Magrin's Teeth, Aethys follows a rich vein of Adra. It takes him northeast to more interesting territory.
And from there? Your Highness, we must address this threat immediately. The Valiant Trading Company's interests are at risk.
Lives have been lost, Cantanichesi. Let us think of them before we concern ourselves with your return on investment. How a man speaks during crisis shouts his priorities. In the deepest memory of the tribes, we have told stories of Magrin's Teeth. Embellished sailors' fables, Akira, but not without some truth. My people speak of treacherous seas, lakes of fire, and the ancient warriors hammered to life on Magrin's anvil. Ashen Maw is the grandest and most accessible of the peaks. It is the sharpest tooth in Magrin's jaw. Prepare yourself for a fight. Akira, would that our resources were not so entangled in other parts. I cannot send ships to Magrin's Teeth any more than I would send paper dolls to a furnace. Unless the esteemed Hazanui possesses a cannon with the power to cripple a god.
Never underestimate the ingenuity of Rawatayan engineers. Unfortunately, their labors have been focused elsewhere.
More's the pity. If you make preparations in Neketaka, I say we can help each other.
Even in a time of crisis, you seek to recruit agents to pursue your own ends.
On the contrary, we need someone who can get things done around the Brass Citadel. And this Watcher is exactly that kind of person.
Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Only that Rawatai stands ready to aid the Watcher. If he's going back into the wilds, he can't bring too much firepower.
Ma'am.
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Ac, perfecto. Do you mean to stop Eothas by shooting him? Palagina, I place my trust in you. Go with the Watcher, show him how the Republic's handled things.
Ah, Your Excellency. Hamed Kang Swalias.
That will be enough parading of champions for now. I'm certain that our guest knows how to assemble a crew. Akira, if you can stand the chattering of unlike minds on your ship, that is your prerogative.
Good thing I'm already accustomed to cramped quarters and temperamental birds.
We both have our orders. I have no interest in interfering with you as long as you do not interfere with me.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi? Aren't we popular? Best of luck in your travels, Watcher. I think you'll find our troubles a good deal more complex than a blundering god. And take care with your trading company spies.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else. Let's speak. Watcher, while we have the chance. Your coming is a favorable omen already. You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies. How can I when they posture and peck like a pair of kata birds? I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. She trusts me to judge this. Akira, but I hear whispers that you visited the Hazanui's Adra lighthouse and survived. Too much has happened for you to waste words with the royal brother. From now on, you work with Onikaza as an honored guest of her rooftop garden. Only, be kind to her cats. If you have questions, the royal brother will hear you. My sister keeps a tight grip on Neketaka, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet. Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Rapau for their silence. Take this if you need proof. An envoy ship sank a day's voyage out of Neketaka. He wore that on his breast. My guards recovered it in a raid of the gullet. This confirms my suspicion. Neketaka has a pirate problem. Smugglers and thieves cluster like rats in Delver's Row, a growth in the bowels of our city.
You think pirates raiding those Republic's bastards be the source of your people's agony? Wonder what the gullet folk would be thinking of that. Sir.
Anyone who preys on my people will know Onikaza's justice in time, I say. I want someone to peddle the medallion to the black market, earn the trust of these pirates, and learn how supplies come into my city. Yours is not a face that others will recognize. Let no one learn that you work for the crown. When you travel down the mountain, seek Tekehu in Pariki's overlook. He is a godlike, one who the people look to for hope. Ngati's chosen knows of our troubles. He could also use a lesson in Raparu modesty. Akira, if I know Tekehu, he is stirring tempers in the Water Shapers Guild. Be on your guard in the gullet. I fear the caverns run deeper than even Ngati could guess.
Shadow Watcher. Clearly you are an interesting man to know. You should speak with Governor Alvari in our headquarters down the mountain in Queen's Berth.
Well, as long as it's all done.
Barati pays coin to feed the... He smells one touched by the great eel, does Barati. You are a man who sits across a fire with death, Akira. For glutting mighty Tangaloa and hurling foes into their next life, Barati can offer payment. Coins for feeding hungry gods. Akira, rewarding those who appease the great eel. This is Barati's cause. May the beasts of the Dreaming Lands never know famine. Tangaloa rolls a hungry eye toward Dichila, a Valian captain who scouts for luminous Adra in sacred lands. With joy, not hunger, does the great eel lash its mighty tail. Dichila has sated the beast for now. The jaws of Tangaloa gnash about a Rauatayan captain named Ohairo. His cannon fire echoes in the ears of slumbering gods. The beast cries out for a more restful Deadfire. Akira, you chose wisely. Ohairo sails the junk Stone Anchor, south of the Kua-o-Rikuhu island chain due east of Neketaka. The gods will thank you for quieter seas.
My brothers and sisters have set sail for Neketaka.
I thought the tribes needed them to calm the weather.
A greater storm surrounds this place. We must... All of the Kahanga. If the outsiders do not trample us first, the Green God will surely do it for them.
Do not speak this way, my love.
It is high time we spoke away from the exhaustive filter of the court. My children, Kahopa and Tangaloa, it is to them that I answer when dignitaries do not pound at my door.
I think I speak for all of us when I say we'd be honored to pet your children.
A messenger from the jaws of Tangaloa speaks with the voice of wisdom and change, I say. I must keep the city's peace, and I have only so many arms and eyes. While the Deadfire screams, I would see Neketaka outlast the storm to come. What I need is a lasting peace that will outlive my dynasty, but I will accept peace of mind for now. What do you know of my water shapers, Herald of Bereth? Akira, if you recall history, then you know why I am protective over the guild. My water shapers are the levy holding back Rauatai's advance. An adept standing at the prow of a war canoe is enough to send the fleet scrambling for the shallows. This reminds me, I owe the Hazanui a basket of koiki in remembrance of the Battle of Neketaka. That is Aruihi's job, but Akira, there is a side of diplomacy which I enjoy. While the problems of Aethys and overindulgent admirals plague these waters, I have summoned the masters of water shaping to Neketaka. Now would be the time to confer with Guildmaster Myru, but she does not answer my summons. Akira, for this I employ a Guildmaster and a Watcher, but I say the arrangement is flexible to change. The Guild can suffer no setbacks. If Myru shirks her duties, her queen would know the reason. Nagati, do not abandon us now.
So, does Gilded Vale still reek of spoiled grain and burnt stew?
Wouldn't know. Decided to go places where I could be of more use.
I didn't realize farmers were in such short supply in the Deerwood.
The sea is true home. What you want? Arkemir doesn't let worthless idiot outside after worthless idiot sprayed dung on stupid tablet. But Arkemir not home. So worthless idiot watches the ships come in, looks at all the tasty gulls. How often you beat your crew, huh? No beatings? None? I joined crew? I joined crew!
Not a problem.
Their souls.
Go no further. There is a situation in the guild hall. All is under control, I say. But the building is closed until Myru cleans up the mess below. Nothing beyond the likes of us, I say. Naga swam in from the waterways of our sanctum. We pressed back until they fled underground. Then Myru gathered her forces for a stand at Pariki's tomb. I am to guard the staircase while she routs the last of them. Kira, but Myru is fierce for her years. I do not know. With great purpose, they throw their bodies back to Rikuhu's bowels. I say this is personal. They strike with anger, not conviction. We are water shapers. Onikaza knows we can walk over a few snakes. Myru, though, I say she would not turn down reinforcements. Ha! I say you will have to run fast. She could cut through Naga like a harpoon through blubber. I will remain and dispatch any snakes who slither past you. Good hunting.
Myru forbade me from following her, but I say Ngati would not want me to miss this. Then let us be off. Ngati's chosen will bring his foot down on the back of every wriggling snake. Lead on.
Regulations against this sort of place? No? Scallywags ho, Cap.
Right on target. What do you need?
What can I do you for? Yeah? I hear you.
This is...
Too many, even for me. No time for that, I say. The rod of the deep. I've lost... Find the rod. Get through the stone door by the entrance. Wards. Failing. Hurry, before it escapes. Pitied is Ngati, Lady of Lament, as the pearl orb of the heavens.
Not a problem.
The wheel, how it tugs at me. Akira, and how bright you look. At least in death, I can complete a thought. My rod and the words of Pariki's devotion will open the way to the inner sanctum, past the sealed door. Pitied is Ngati, Lady of Lament. As the pearl orb of the heavens crosses her view, her eyes well with tears, as constant as rain. But the moon's skyward journey continues apace, the lover's affection as ephemeral as fingers touching. You must strengthen the wards, no matter what it tells you.
Yeah? Hey. Hmm? Yeah?
Cautiously. What?
Lava, you be right screwed. Lava be unseen.
That's not very helpful.
Be unseen.
may I help?
Consider it done.
Found it.
Have they kept it down here?
Oh, this would be a great fishing story.
Galloway's feckin' spear. That there be a right bonny beast and a half.
Holy gone, but it's beautiful. And I'll bet smart as a whip and just as mean.
Have you come to deliver me from this prison of my own making? I am Skirilophus, Guardian of the Isles.
You ever consider a nickname? Just give it some thought, is all I'm saying.
You do not see chains around me, but I am confined all the same. One by one, every link shatters. You can only be here for one reason. You serve the Huana. This prison is built on a foundation of their lies. You stand in the sanctum of the Water Shapers, those who make parlor tricks of Ngati's art, an art in decline. The Huana Covenant has failed. With each grain of sand surrendered to outsiders, Ngati draws her favor away from her chosen people. One struck in a different time, when the gods showered devotion on the Huana. The guild hides how their acolytes struggle. Their ancestral forms no longer respond as they once did. Soon, there will be no Water Shapers to remember them. When their mighty talent went into decline, I gave the Huana the strength to raise the very sea against our enemies. For my generosity, they bound me to this chamber by my soul. And now the Deadfire dies in my absence. The luminous Adra shrieks in agony, calling out for a guardian. You are a watcher. Of all the kith who could have entered this chamber, how intriguing. Clever Pariki twisted the forms of her art. Rather than give obeisance to Ngati, They draw from the wards of this prison. None but the masters of the guild ever knew this. Believe what you will. My duty to the archipelago is all that matters. Freedom comes like the tide, and the Deadfire heeds my call. I sense a rod among your belongings. My gift to Pariki. My covenant with the Huana. Another broken promise. It made the enchantments of this prison and can destroy them. It can set me free. Is your loyalty to a queen of lies so steadfast? She may not know of me, but she is complicit in this crime all the same. You owe her nothing. Your ship will sail with grateful protection. That is a boon without equal in the Deadfire. Do it then. Enough of my time has gone to waste in this cell. I long for the sea and the sky. I feel irregular. The burden of this prison is lifted. I will return to the beloved Atra. I have had precious little cause for hope since I arrived in Neketaka. Until today. Should your hopes darken on the high seas, you will feel a welcome chill as my shadow passes over your deck. Depend on it.
Onikaza will want your report, I say. Pariki should have known we could not keep a dragon forever.
What madness has its clutches around Pariki's overlook? The mountain shakes, bellows of anguish echo over the wind. And a shadow rose from the streets to cover Queen's Birth on its way to the sea. Now the traders look to me for answers I do not have. Nothing but panic and contradiction make their way to my ears. Tell me what happened. You do not jest. So his was the heart I felt beating in my city. For what did the guild endanger my city with this creature? I will hear Myru's report. No, to lose a teacher of Myru's skill while Rawatai points their cannons at us? Send every bird for my master water shapers. Tell them to cleave the ocean in half if they must. They will come to Neketaka now. I once told Myru she was not allowed to retire while Rawatai's fleet darkened my ports. Nagati is not done testing me, I say. Kahanga legends tell us that our ancestors made compacts with the creatures of the Deadfire. Send for Ranga Hauhua of the Wapua tribe. If she could soften the hearts of my cats, I say dragons are not beyond her. Speak on, Watcher. As surely as a tide swelling over the shore, I feel you are not finished. Then Pariki's students had an advantage in their lessons, I say, and Mairu's after her, all at the cost of this beast's freedom. If water shaping is not as our ancestors taught it, we cannot reckon how much of the original form we have lost. What became of the dragon, Watcher, if the power of this beast strengthened our guild? What Pariki did was no kindness, I say, but her actions helped students of the guild to learn our most sacred art. This is more valuable to me than every cannon in Rawatai. Thank you, Watcher. My water-shaping masters will arrive soon, and I say the guild will be stronger for their guidance. But a queen's work is not finished until she has endured all of Nagati's trials. I could send birds to every Ranga and rally them to our cause, but Neketaka needs more than strength. We need pure Huana fury. We need the Wahaki. My brother calls the Wahaki the last true Huana. He's severe on the Kahanga, but I do not call him wrong. The tribe hates all foreigners. Passing ships are attacked on sight, and explorers never make it back to the beach. I have hesitated to let the trading companies see my teeth, but those days are behind us. Filling the seas with Wahaki war canoes will strike terror in the heart of even Rawatai's iron fleet. Sail for the Isle of Oriokoiki and return when you have an answer from the tribe, whether fair or foul. The island lies northwest of Neketaka. There is a phrase which will protect my royal herald. Over crumbling mountains, across blighted seas. If you remember this, it could save your life. Write it down if you must, but recall it when the time comes. The Wahaki are not a trusting people.